Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in this video I'm going to show you what is DNS and how DNSs work. DNS stands for Domain Name System. When you try to access any website from your web browser, so DNS is therefore to help you to access that specific website, because the only address that is readable by computer is the IP address. But when you type the domain name, so DNS provide the service of mapping a specific domain name to a specific IP address. So let's get started our video so I can show you more about the DNS and how DNSs work. So here, when you type this www with your web browser, so this is called the subdomain. And after that you type this domain, this is called a second level domain. And this .com or .us or .uk is called a top level domain, and there is a hidden dot at the end of .com which is called a root domain. So this is how you're going to type any domain name with your web browser. So here let me show you how it's going to work with a DNS server. When you request any specific website, which is this www.websitename.com from DNS server, so the DNS server is going to reply you with a specific IP address that's already mapped. So this www.websitename.com is mapped to this IP, which is 56.34.21.200, and you're going to get this reply from the DNS server, and DNS server use this UDP port 53. Not only that we have one DNS server in our networks, but we can have more than two. Each DNS is in a domain area is going to be a DNS zone. As an example here, if this primary DNS want to synchronize its all database or data to the secondary server, so here this is the process that is going to first this primary DNS notify the secondary server about the DNS that I'm here. So then this secondary server will send IXFR and AXFR. So IXFR incremental zone transfer, and the AXFR is this authoritative transfer. So when the secondary server send this IXFR and AXFR to the primary DNS, so the primary DNS automatically send its all DNS records that here you go, this is all my records, you can have all my records. So this is the process that for each DNS zone when they want to synchronize its records, so this is going to be the process. And when the query packets exceed more than 512 bytes, so the DNS is going to use the TCP port 53. Mean that not only that DNS use UDP, but is going to use the TCP as well. When the query packets exceed more than 512, in case of the two different DNS zone, the query packet is definitely going to exceed more than 512, which is going to use this TCP port 53. So here, if in case of accessing any website from a web server, so when you type the domain name, so your request goes to the web server, and the web server is only on this 46.56.89.40. so this is the IP address which is used by the web server, but the web server automatically cannot actually give you access, or will not allow you to access the website by typing this www.website.com, because you have to type this 46.56.89.40. so the web server knows about this IP address, so it's going to reply. But there is a DNS that need to look up at the specific www.website .com, and after it's going to look up at the specific website name, then it sees that there is this website name is mapped to this IP for this web server, which is 46.56.59.40. So this is the IP address that's mapped to that web server, so automatically it's going to reply you. In our DNS, we have DNS hierarchy. When you browse anything on the web, on the internet, so this is going to be the DNS called the DNS resolver, and this is going to be the DNS hierarchy. So let me show you here how the process is going to work. First, you're going to type the domain name and your request goes to the DNS resolver. So the DNS resolver automatically send your request to the root. In this DNS hierarchy, there is a root, there is TLDS, which is top level domain, and also there is a authoritative name server. So when the DNS resolver send your request to root server, so the root server only know the address of the top level domain, but it's not going to reply you. So it's going to send the address of top level domain. After you receive the address of the top level domain in DNS resolver, so the DNS resolver will try to communicate to top level domain. So then the top level domain is going to provide the authoritative name server address, and it's going to say that to the DNS resolver that I have no information about this requested domain name, but I can provide you the authoritative name server. So when it's going to send this to the DNS resolver, so the DNS resolver try to communicate to this authoritative name server. So this server knows about all the domain and IP address of any website, so automatically is going to provide to the DNS resolver. So the DNS resolver automatically going to give you the information of the specific domain name. So there is a 13 set of root server. There is more than 13 set of root server in different location, which is running by 12 organization on internet. So when you want to access the same website, and the process not going to this process not going to happen again, so your request automatically the DNS cache is automatically reply you, because the DNS resolver know about the requested domain name, and the second time it's not going to go through all these process. But if you want to access a new website, so the same process is going to happen again. So this is how it's going to work when you want to access any website from internet. So this is called the DNS hierarchy. When you configure your DNS server, you might notice there's a bunch of different records available with your DNS server. So here let me show you the first record that's available with your DNS server. So the first record is called a address. So this record is responsible for all the IP version 4 addresses. When you see any domain name that is mapped to IP version 4 address, so this record definitely going to use for all the IP version 4 addresses with your DNS. And the next record here we have this AA, which is quad A. This record is responsible for all the IP version 6 addresses. So when you see any domain name that is mapped to IP version 6 address, so definitely this record is going to use for all the IP version 6 addresses. And the next record here is MX, which stands for mail exchange. We use it for all the email server. When you want to point to any email server, so definitely this record is going to use for all the email server with your DNS. As an example, here we have this example.com, which use this MX, which use priority 10, which is mapped to mail.example.com, which use this time to live or TTL of 6000, and also example2.com, which use this MX record and it assigned this priority 20 and it's mapped to mail.example2.com which use this TTL 6000. So here this record type is going to assign priority to the primary, and the lowest priority here is going to be the primary. So if this example.com with this priority 10 is not reachable, so it's going to use this example2.com here, the second web second email server, because this type of record is going to use this priority. As I said, the lowest priority is going to assign to the primary email server with this record. And the next record here we have this name server, which is NS. This record is a name server for subdomains inside DNS server, which is used for all the subdomains. So this is a type of record that is a name server for subdomains. And the next record here we have this CNAME, which is canonical name. So this type of record is used for mapping domain to domain and subdomain to domain. As an example here, let me show you. We have this www.example.com, which is used this record type CNAME, and it's used to map to alias to example.com, which use this TTL of 42,000, and also this ftp.example.com, which is a domain name and which is used this canonical name and is mapped to example.com, which is used this TTL 45,000. So this type of record is used for the purpose of domain to domain name and subdomain to domain as well. So here the next record we have this a name. So this type of record is auto resolve alias, which is just function like a CNAME but at the root of your domain. And the next record is called PTR, which is pointer. So this type of record is a reverse of the A record and AA record. In A record we used to map domain name to IP version 4 address, and AA record we used to map domain name to IP version 6 address. But in this PTR it's a reverse of these two. We used to map IP address to host name with our DNS. And the next record here we have this SRV, which is service. We use this for mapping all the services with our DNS. So this is dedicated for other services inside your DNS. And we have this type of record, which is SOA, which is start of authority. We use this record for administrative information about DNS zone. And the next record here we have TXT, which is text. We used for a site for email validation and verification for domain ownership. So we use this text inside our DNS server. So this is dedicated for all the text like site for email validation, domain ownership inside our DNS server. And the next record here we have this CAA, which is a certificate authority record for we use it for SSL and TLS certificate inside our DNS server. Thanks for watching this video until now, and if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to stay tuned about our future videos and uploads, hit the bell icon as well. So see you guys in the next video.